Marci Rossi, certified alcohol-free coach, helps women unleash their potential, rediscover themselves, and achieve success. I bloody love that.
Well, thanks, you got me there.
Just to give our listeners a little bit of a context, Marci contacted me just out of the blue, and obviously I fell under her charm, and said, "Can I come on? Can we chat?" And I'm like, "Absolutely!" And like I always do it. I haven't met her before. She hasn't met me, so we're going to all discover her together, which is amazing. Welcome, Marci. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. It's great to see you.
So tell me about your, before I dig into what you're doing, because I know we did speak a bit and it sounds amazing. I would like for our listeners to hear, for those who haven't got there yet and they're not feeling like, they're thinking they want to go alcohol free, they're in the process of kind of going, oh yeah, what would you say was kind of like a huge important aspect of going alcohol free for you? Do you have anything that you really relied on, that you fell back on, or that made complete sense to you when you were on that journey?
Yeah, so I think that timing is really critical. I think if you're trying to force it and saying, I'm doing this because I have to do it, it's just not going to work out. Because there were times in my journey where that probably should have been the point that I quit. You know, I've had these rock bottom moments where I've embarrassed myself, embarrassed other people, gotten myself into really dangerous situations, but I wasn't ready to quit, so I could explain all those away. It was a one-off thing, you know, it's never going to happen again. That time I got too drunk, so it doesn't matter, right? So the kind of rock bottom moments for me, the worst parts were not what actually convinced me to stop drinking. I think it was really, I just got tired of it. I just reached a point where I'm like, this cannot be all there is in life, that this can't be it. Like I was just profoundly bored with my life. Things were going well. I mean, I didn't have any serious problems, but I was just so bored. You know, you're drinking while you watch TV, hanging out with the bar. Like that was it. I wasn't accomplishing any goals. I had a bucket list of traveling. I never traveled. Like I was just bored out of my mind. And I had this inkling that this was something that was definitely holding me back.
Yeah, it's incredible, that, isn't it? And we often talk about how we lose our imagination, our creativity, and you don't realize, right? Because you're just sitting there, you know, you're just drinking with the drink. Okay, you might be with people, but you're not interacting like you. It's just insane how much it takes away from us without us realizing. And also coming back to that point of the rock bottom, that's also a mistake some people make. They're like waiting for their rock bottom, and that, you know, it's just, you don't have to wait for a rock bottom. The minute you're aware that this thing is getting in the way of you living a life that you want to live, and meeting people you want to meet, and making decisions and moving forward, then it's a good time to consider kind of jumping off. So tell me, how did you do it yourself?
So I actually, I first tried to do dry January, right? So I'm the type of person that really values health. I love, you know, reading about different nutrition books and trying different programs, cleanses, whatever. And so I was like, let me try a dry January. And I did the first one maybe 5 years ago or so. And I think I ended up drinking 3 or 4 times, but I had a really hard day at work that one time. And then that other time something happened. And so I just kind of deserved it. So it didn't really count, right? And I repeated that pattern a couple times. I had one dry January where I actually made it through the whole 31 days, and I thought about drinking every single day. Like every single day was 24 more days, 23 more days, but you know, counting down, I'm gonna have it February 1st.
Something you want so badly.
Yeah, absolutely. It was this is the set time, and then I can go back to normal, right? That was kind of the mindset there. And that was really eye-opening for me to say, I don't have this in control. Like if I can't go 31 days and either just not be able to do it or be completely miserable, this is something that has way more power over my life than I do.
Yeah, God, that's incredible. Hey, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. And it gets stuck in that thing. So did you, when you actually, so you did that dry January, and then how did you manage to put the space between, what was your last day? Did you just say that's it? Or was it a follow on from a dry January?
So I reached a point in kind of November last year where I was like, this is enough, but I knew I couldn't do it myself. I had tried to do it myself and it wasn't working. So I actually signed up for a coaching program through This Naked Mind, and you were one of my fabulous coaches. And
Oh,
so yeah, so we've never met in
no.
person, but you haven't seen me in ages now. But that was from January 1st. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I quit at that point. I will say though that I have had a drink since then. So I think July,
Yeah.
I hit a bit of depression. So I've had routine bouts of depression starting, I think, when I was about 18.
Yeah.
And when I get really depressed is when my drinking skyrockets. Like it
Oh,
becomes an all day activity. And at this point, in July, I was really low. And so I was just sitting on my couch, and I was either those for 2 or 3 days, I was either sleeping or drinking or watching TV. That's all I could kind of handle. And it's just really funny because I've had these bouts before, and they take a long time to get through. It takes medication, it takes therapy, it takes, patience and time for me to kind of turn this around. And I was able by the third day to say, enough is enough. I'm done. I mean, and this was, I was crying. I was drinking. This was 2 days of just pure sadness. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to do this, because this actually goes back to something that you say a lot. It's this: once you know this, you can't unknow this. Like, I know that alcohol is a depressant. It's not going to make me feel better. It's going to be like a little band-aid where, I kind of feel better for a second or two, but then it's just going to get worse again. Like it's just masking the problem, not fixing it. And so I said, enough is enough. And I had seen this study actually that came out that said that exercise is 1.5 times more effective than therapy or than the best antidepressants. And those
yeah.
other things take a long time. And exercise I can do for free right outside my door, right? And I'm not a big exercise enthusiast. I'm a person that absolutely hates sweating, and I just
I know what you mean.
it's not my forte, but it was the easier choice in the moment. And it's also the other thought of choosing my hard. Like, exercise is hard. It's not going to be comfortable. I don't really have the energy, but hating your life is hard. Feeling like there's nothing to go on for is hard. Like, I can choose my heart, and it's not really a choice at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, we spoke about that, and I'm so glad that you're doing what you're doing, because we need humans. We don't need the people who are just like, yeah, it was easy, and I just jumped off, and yeah, we need some of those too, but we need people who've been through depression, who know
Yeah.
what they're talking about. So when someone comes to you, they know that it's something I was reading in Gabor, and they said, if you've never been through it, you will never understand how awful it is and how debilitating it is, and how people are like, yeah, this is what you should do, and you just
Yeah.
can't. It's just terrible. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So did you find, at what point did you kind of realize that you were transferring from stopping kind of it was a what was it? At what point did you realize that the coping strategy that you had chosen, for discomfort, for your band-aid, was alcohol? And at what point did you realize that actually it was pretty amazing what your brain had found for you to stop you feeling the pain, to stop you from accessing emotions that were just too big for you, and that could have equally have been smoking, drugs, porn, shopping, arguing, anything that's kind of like, not so much arguing, but something that's highly addictive like that. At what point did that kind of dawn on you that this wasn't just a conversation about alcohol?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I've always known that alcohol has been my coping mechanism. I started as a kid to rebel and to party. I was the good girl that never really gotten in trouble. And so alcohol was kind of a way to act out, I guess. But also, it was just, I was never comfortable in my own skin. Like, everybody, in my opinion, everybody has it figured out. They're confident, they know what they're doing, like, they're relaxed in social situations. And I just felt almost an itch, and alcohol kind of relieved that itch. And it relieved all kinds of itches. It relieved the horrible day at work. It relieved, even the exciting, the excitement that I felt, the energy, the, adrenaline. That was something that I was going to cope with alcohol. So I knew that I was escaping. But for a time that was okay. For a time that was just going to be enough. And I think I just got a point where I just got tired of it. Like, even, this past moment in July, it snapped around so much quickly than it normally does. But it was, I consciously knew this is not going to work. I'm just doing this to try to numb the pain that I know is just going to still sit there. It's not actually healing anything. And that's when I kind of had the conversation with myself, like, but is that all I want? Is that what I want?
Yeah,
Just to kind of have this status quo, that I
yeah,
want to have pain, but just refuse to feel it, instead of solve the pain so that I can actually feel better. Right. And
yeah.
it was an easy conversation at that point, because I knew what I was doing. I knew it wasn't going to help. And I had some other strategies, because I had gone through programs like, the Snake of Minds, the Path, and I had worked on, my beliefs and thoughts and challenging them, right? Like even depression, when you're in depression, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody, but when I was depressed, it felt like there was no hope. Like it was never going to get better. I was never going to find joy. I was never going to be one of those happy people. I was never, all of these, infinite timelines, right? But at the same time, I had been depressed before, right? And I had gotten through it. I had gone through these moments where I was convinced it's never going to get better, and then it did. So why would this time be any different? Why
Mm.
would this time be the one time I'm not going to do it? I've proven to myself that I can do it, right? And it's just kind of challenging those thoughts. We have so many thoughts that we just blindly accept. And to
Unbelievable.
combat alcohol, you have to challenge the thoughts. That's
Yeah,
that's really
yeah.
all it is.
And in order to find that room, you're so right, to find that, and this is where the program, the Annie Grace stuff comes into its own, because it all starts with finding compassion and grace. It's the two words,
Yeah,
compassion and grace,
yeah,
that you show towards others before, if you can't find it for yourself. But can you imagine not having access to that compassion and grace for yourself? That conversation, this incredible awareness that you've got, would never have
yeah.
happened.
Yeah. And it would have been really hard in July, because I had this goal of alcohol free in 2023, right? It just had this beautiful ring to it. I'm going to quit, and I'm a perfectionist. So if I'm going to quit, it's just never going to happen. And if I hadn't had that moment in July, first of all, it'd be harder for me to relate to people that have had that moment.
Exactly.
And yeah, so it's just kind of understanding what it, like you said, understanding, I mean, having gone through it, you can speak more authentically and kind of relate to people at a better level. So if I didn't have compassion and grace, I would have beaten myself up and said, well, you ruined the streak now, might as well just keep going, right?
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's so quickly done, because once you've had that distance from it for a little bit, and you have, what they call the Snake of Mind data points, or whatever you want to
right.
call it, the speed at which one falls back down into that infamous pitcher plant, to join all the others at the bottom of the acid in the plant, is just, it's terrifying,
Yeah,
because the brain is just like, hang on a minute, I know where we're going, I love this shit, this dopamine, and I want more of it again, and she's denied me of it, or he's denied me of it. We're going straight in, and people coming
yeah,
back and saying, oh my god, I can't, how, but they obviously, often they can't drink as much as they used to, so they can't
right.
believe how sick they feel, how quickly after such a smaller amount than they normally would have drunk, but
Yeah,
also how in the next 2 weeks often they're just going back to drinking every day within 2 weeks,
yeah.
and they're like, oh my god, how the hell did that happen?
It was interesting. I had the wherewithal at the time. I took selfies of myself when this was happening, because I
Yeah,
turned bright red, like just completely flushed. I'm in my PJs, because again, getting dressed was too hard at this point. But I have selfies on my phone now to be like, alcohol is a poison. Like,
yeah,
strawberries and apples do not turn you bright red unless you have an allergy, right? This is an allergic reaction in my body saying, get this out. I need to get this out, right?
yeah, yeah.
And I didn't have that kind of falling back into, okay, well, now I'm going back into old patterns. I think because I had worked so much on my mindset, and
Yeah, I
just
can hear.
knowing that this
Yeah,
is not getting me to where I want to go.
yeah, yeah. And that comes a lot in that they serve their purpose, those moments, for each and every one of us, because for some person it highlights, it's like just a hole in your path, right? And you've tripped up on it, and it's there for good reason. If you don't fall into it, if you don't trip on it today, you're going to trip up on it, maybe a few months, or some people years down, and then they're like, oh my
Yeah,
god, I drank after being so alcohol free for 7 years or something. And it's what happened, because this hole is there. Effectively, the work hasn't been done, or
yeah,
hasn't made sense, and there is still this element of the brain thinking it's being denied something,
yeah.
so it's holding on to something somewhere along the line. God, it's so interesting. And my other question is, what about when you went alcohol free, what happened to your social life? How did you tell people, when did you tell people what you were doing?
So my husband knew when I signed up, because he had seen, kind of how hard things were getting for me. And so he actually made the choice himself to stop drinking as well, right? So
Amazing.
I was like, you can do whatever you want. Like, I'm not the boss of you. You go do you, but this is a choice just for me. And he decided to do it anyway. And I know a lot of people aren't that fortunate. There's a lot of relationships where the other person is either going to try to drag you down or just keep going. But I was just really fortunate that my husband is so supportive, and he still has not had a drink to this day. He has no intention of going back. He didn't do any of the mindset work. He was just like, that was stupid. Why was I doing this? Right?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm the
I'm
same.
out. Yeah. Crazy. For other people, for friends, I think the biggest reaction that I got was just making it about them. Like, not that my friends and family are selfish, but that's just a very common reaction to be like, oh, well, I don't drink very much. It's like, okay. Because,
Always.
what I would say I'm not drinking, people would expect me to drink in situations because every situation was an excuse to drink. And so if I said I'm not drinking, I would just say, I feel better without it. That was my statement. And then
Yeah.
in response was always, oh, I don't really drink that much. Okay. I mean,
Nice. I
I know
like that
you.
because there's
Like,
nothing.
okay.
It's so funny, isn't it? That mirror thing.
Yeah.
And I had people coming up to me saying, God, I just feel really embarrassed because I'm a bit tipsy. I'm like, I don't care.
Okay.
Do what you need to do. It's absolutely
Yeah.
fine. And I think that, what about things like, I have a lot of people that talk about what to do with wine that's brought. So when people bring them presents of wine, gifts of wine, what to do with alcohol that's in their house, how to, and there's often a sort of a general malaise around what to do with this stuff when it's in the house. Do you have that?
So I have a bottle. We have a bar, and on top there is a bottle of gin that's there, and it hasn't really been tempting to me. Gin's not really my drink. The rest of the stuff is kind of hidden. I think for some of this stuff, honestly, we went to a friend's birthday party, and I had a bottle of wine because I hadn't been drinking it. So that gift was already taken care of. I didn't have to go shopping that day, right? So that was one problem solved. Vodka can be used as a cleaner. It kills germs,
So
it kills bugs, right? Like, you can reuse these things. It's that same kind of like, there's a sunk cost, right? Like, oh, I've already kind of spent the money on this, so maybe I should just go ahead and finish it. But if you spent money on a big meal and you're completely full, are you going to force yourself to finish eating it just because you paid money for it? Like, at some point, okay, it's lost. I've spent the money anyway. It's over. So might as well just get rid of it. Like, I've had enough. I've had all that I need for this. So we didn't really, the things that were unopened, we've been able to gift most of those, and the rest of it, honestly, it's still just sitting there because I just don't even think about it. Like, I don't care. So
and it's really interesting, isn't it, when you start to step kind of back away from it without the judgment, and you're able to observe, when people bring a bottle of wine. So let's say a baby's born and you bring a bottle of champagne, or you're celebrating your birthday and it's alcohol, and this thing is fucking poison. And it's like, yeah, let's celebrate with some poison to your life. It's like, how the hell does that work? It's just the most bizarre thing. But funny enough, when you go to a funeral, there might be alcohol there, but you never see anyone taking alcohol to a funeral, do you?
No, if anything, it would be something sneaky and doing in the back, right? So
So funny. Well, how does it work? And then tell me, did you lose any friends when you went alcohol free?
No, I've actually.
Did you choose to step away from any relationships?
So, like, for acquaintances that didn't really see me drinking, there's no really reason to have a conversation. Like, I'm not just walking up and introducing myself as, hi, Marci, I don't drink anymore, kind of thing. For the people that I did drink with, it's funny. I think my behavior has had a positive effect on them, right? Like, not intentionally. I do not preach to my friends. Like I said with my husband, you do what you want to do. I don't want to, but like, it's not going to make me uncomfortable if you get something, because I'm going to order my own non-alcoholic beer, right, or whatever. So there's no judgment there, but they've anecdotally, a couple people have come to me and said like, oh, well, I actually haven't had a drink this month, or, oh, I noticed I'm drinking less. I'm like, I mean, good, you do you. Like, I'm not telling you what to do, but I think they're trying to like get the brownie points. I don't know. It's just funny, but it's funny the impact that you have on other people when you're not trying to. I've seen it in reverse, right? So when I met my husband, he rarely drank, and I quickly dragged him down with me to the point that eventually we were drinking almost every day together, right? But he'd never really drank when he met me. So his behavior was completely influenced by mine, and I've seen that kind of the opposite way of when one person starts to make healthier choices, other people are like, yeah, maybe I should try that. Like, she looks really good. Like, why wouldn't I want that?
It's such a cool thing when it starts to turn like that, where you think that people, they bond and they socialize with their drinking, and they're often like, this is what we do together. And then you actually hearing more and more stories of people bonding and getting together because they don't drink.
Yeah.
And this incredible kind of like, oh my God, we're having the best time.
Yeah.
Because we've had that world, don't really want that one anymore. And you've got this fresh, clear one that comes with this woman once was saying that she was on the path. I can't remember what month she was in, but she was saying this really weird thing, and she was alcohol free. And she said, I've got these people gravitating towards me who are alcohol free, and I'm having the best time. And it just grew out from there. And like I said, you've got to build your life, build the life that you want to live. Don't just think that you can remove the alcohol, sit there and think everything's going to be okay. It's not. Your brain's going to kick up a hissy fit, because it's like, okay, well, you've removed my soother. What are you going to put in its place? You've removed, we're not going out. What are we doing instead? And all of that.
I'm so glad you said that, because I know a lot, or I've heard anecdotally from people where they're like, I quit drinking and I lost 50 pounds and my skin is glowing and everything is amazing. And I'm, sunshine and rainbows. And I was like, that was not me. Like, I quit drinking. I lost no weight. My energy levels might be a little bit better. I don't really know. But I have more belief in myself. Like I make promises to myself and I keep them. I know that I can do hard things. I've done hard things. So yeah, this next hard thing that comes up, I know that I can do it. It wasn't just like this magic rainbow that came. It was just a really slow realization of like, I'm actually a lot stronger than I ever gave myself credit for. Like, I can handle painful feelings. I can handle difficult situations and wake up again the next morning. So.
Yeah, God, I love that so much. I can do hard things. And because you're connected, right? Yeah. You're connected with yourself. You're looking after yourself. You're caring for yourself. You're putting yourself first. And every single time I say no to something, but whereas before I might have said yes with a wanting to say no, I tell you what, I know my inner child and my outer child, they just celebrate. They're just like, hello, hallelujah. Now you're talking. I absolutely love it. The feedback that I get from my brain. So tell me about what you're up to. Tell me about you.
So I was just really, I've had a lot of careers. So I am a licensed lawyer. I've worked at, one of the big accounting firms for a while. I worked my way up through public libraries and became a supervisor. So I've done a lot of different things trying to find that right path for me, because I just kind of I feel like some people have it all figured out. They know exactly what they want to do, and their path is clear. And for me, it's just everything I was trying was like, this isn't it, this isn't it. And I just got really inspired in the path working with coaches to say, like, you can actually change someone's life, and you can do it in a way where you can actually have the freedom of being an entrepreneur, right? I've never been an entrepreneur. I've always worked for somebody else, and coming against those rules and regulations really messed with my kind of ideal of freedom. I wanted to be free. I wanted to set my own, working hours. I wanted to be able to kind of choose a task that I'm working on for the day. And so all these things appealed to me, but I think I just didn't have the bravery to ever step out. I didn't think I was creative enough to ever come up with an idea of something to do. I didn't even know coaching really existed. I thought it was therapy and that was about it. So this kind of opened my eyes to a different path that I could take. And I thought it was really exciting. Like, I've seen how working with someone and changing their beliefs can change their entire life. Like, just the other day, my husband told me, and I'm gonna try not to cry, but he told me, like, you smile so much more now. Like, he's just so happy. Yeah, he's
so
just, it's just, because I think sometimes you don't even notice all the changes that we're going through. It's just when other people start to notice that it's like, wow, this really is real. This really is a path. And I, having my own business, I am excited to get to work to it. Like, I don't have Sunday scaries. I'm not worried about Monday. I work on Saturdays and Sundays because I'm so excited about the things that I'm creating and things that I'm doing. There is no like 40-hour work week. I'm doing exactly as much as I want to do. And that happens to be a lot because I'm excited. Like, it's fun. It's really
that
fun
positive, that energy, that we've got available to ourselves 24/7. It's there all the time, but we think it just comes like the night before Christmas. Okay, maybe if you're 8, but or before, before a big thing, or when you fall in love. That energy is there the whole time. It's a mindset, right? It's that thing of, you can look at the world outside and go, God, what a beautiful place, or you can look at the world outside and say, what a horrendous place to be. And there's no energy in that one. So what are your plans then? What are you up to? Tell me about your projects.
Yeah, so I just finished, actually 4 certifications of a success coach, neuro-linguistic programming, a mindset coach, and alcohol-free coach. I have a bunch of different things. What I am driven by and what really lights me up is helping women in particular I say find sobriety and success, because I think alcohol is just the first piece. It was just the
Oh
first
yeah.
piece for me. And
Yeah.
when that piece is gone, then it's like, okay, now what? I was using that to fill a hole in my life. So what else can I fill that hole with? What was missing? How can I achieve this? So for me, it was creating my own business and being an entrepreneur and
Yeah.
designing my own life, right?
Yeah.
So that's the piece for me. But that's the angle that I'm going after, is I really want to help women kind of remove that one thing that's holding them back so that they can skyrocket, they can achieve their dreams. Because for me, when I was drinking, I didn't have dreams. Like there wasn't really it was existing. It was continuing on. It was,
Oh,
okay,
completely.
maybe I'll pay off my house one day, or, maybe for our 50th, we'll go on a big vacation. There was not really, and now I'm like, God, what can we do next? Like, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So
And it doesn't necessitate kind of anything from the, I'm not, is it, no, the outside world. It's all about what's alive in us already. And
yeah,
it's just helping people find that and seeing it in them until they see it in themselves. So it's mirroring it back to them. I can see what you can't see, but it's there.
it's
Just wait,
there.
it's coming out.
I mean, it's
Play.
it's natural, right? Like you were even saying, we're kids, like, for our creativity, alcohol stifles our creativity, and you think about kids and I'm bored, and then they come up with these imaginary worlds, and they're playing, and they have nothing, they have no toys or playing. Well, they used to play outside. I don't know if they play outside anymore, but they used to go play outside and have these great imaginative worlds. Like it's there, that creativity is there. You just haven't been you haven't let yourself use it. You haven't practiced that muscle. That muscle is there. And if you don't ever kind of let yourself be bored and say, okay, so I don't want to drink, what else can I do in this moment? And kind of challenge yourself to come up with things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a muscle that needs to be worked out.
Oh, absolutely. And acknowledging also that in this society, the levels of stress, because it's all very invisible, it's all stuff up in the cloud. It's stuff that's indirect, screen, Instagram, Facebook, likes in little fingers and hands and shit like that. And there's so much threat around us the
Mm-hmm.
whole time, and the speed at which we're moving, that it's so easy to forget who we are for prioritizing a sense of survival. Our nervous
Yeah.
system is full throttle in survival mode for lots of us all the time, leading to extreme fatigue because our adrenal glands just go downhill. They can only
Yeah.
cough up so much stress hormones. But no, that's so interesting. So do you have a niche? Have you got a special kind of, what's your kind of avatar client?
So my client, my ideal client is the past version of me. It is that woman who is really, I mean, I was a high achiever. Like I said, I've got a little kind of wall of degrees over here of things that I'm not even using anymore. And I was a straight A student. Like I really wanted to succeed, to do well, to achieve. And as younger, achievement meant having a fancy job title and making a lot of money. And there's nothing wrong with either of those things, but I didn't really find them fulfilling just as they were in that. And so really feeling lost for so many years of like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know really who I am. And I'm
Yeah.
not allowing myself to explore that because I'm just hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol was something that I hid from. Like I said, I wasn't comfortable in my skin. I didn't really feel like it was okay to be me.
Yeah.
And having stepped away, I'm experiencing that more and more and loving it more and more. Right. So that's who I'm trying to reach, is that person that person that's just really lost, and knowing that this can't be all there is. Like life cannot be that boring, because I promise you it's not. There's just so much more out there waiting for you.
Oh, I love that. I love it. So are you online? Are you in person? How do you work?
Yeah, so I'm online. I have a website. It's my name, Marci
Okay.
Rossi,
We'll pop all of that
MarciRossi.com. Yeah,
in the notes as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, so I'm mainly online for coaching. I also I put out a lot of stuff. So I'm working on something right now. It's going to go live on my website on November 1st, about navigating the holidays alcohol free, because
Yeah.
the holidays are really, they're fun. I love sweater weather. I'm really excited, but they can also be a really difficult time of
Yeah.
year. A lot of sadness and loneliness kind of pops up at this point of year. So I have a guide that's helping you, with tips and strategies and practical
Amazing.
solutions to kind of navigate. There's a lot of social situations in there. There's a lot of feelings that arise when there's that much family time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm working on, is this free guide that'll be available on my website next month.
That's
So
brilliant. And that romanticizing, right? As the nights draw in, not for our
yeah,
Australian people, and the fires are lit. I say that because I've got a fire in my room. I'm a bit hot right now. And, there's all this thing of and celebrations and Christmases and things like that coming
yeah,
to the fore. They're
yeah,
all they can be, and if they can be obviously massive triggers for people. That sounds
absolutely.
absolutely amazing. Marci,
Yeah.
that was such a pleasure to meet you. I'm so happy you reached out, and I'm so glad we met.
Thank you so much, Zoe. And I just want to say thank you. I mean, it's really incredible how something like coaching can change someone's life. Like I never expected that I would be here. And it's from working with people like you to say, you know what, you've got this, then there's more for you. And I can see it, like you said, I can see it when you can't. And so I can't thank you enough. So.
Oh, it's beautiful. My pleasure.